Hey team, today we're working on mobility and core. This is going to be a coached workout, so you'll hear me giving some cues on all of the movements to help you get the most out of the workout. But if you prefer to do it without the coaching and just the music and notification beeps, you can find a copy of that right here where I'll just mute my talking. We're going to be working through circuits. So we have a warm-up circuit that will work 30 seconds of work and 15 seconds of rest that we'll move through really quickly just to get things ready. And then we got two big circuits that will repeat twice, 40 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest, and the circuits will contain 4 movements. Let's jump in. Okay, so we're going to start with a basic cat and cow. So let's come down to hands and knees, and we'll start by rounding your back. Tuck your chin, exhale, and get as much roundness in the back as you can. And then inhale, arch your back, look up, and get as much movement through your spine as you can. Let's go ahead and begin. All right, we're gonna move into a quick basic plank. So let's come down to your forearms with your toes tucked. Keep your body in a straight line and try to keep your forearms separate from each other. Keep nice and tall off of the floor. Let's begin, hold still. All right, let's make our way down onto the bum. And we're gonna do some hip openers. So bring your hips open to about 90 degrees, heels flat on the floor, and use your hands behind you to prop yourself upright. And from here, we'll swivel your hips side to side, bringing your knee down to the midline and getting some hip rotation. Let's lie down on the back for a really quick hollow body hold, half hollow body. So keep your feet flat on the floor and crunch your shoulders up so that your shoulder blades are off the ground. And let's aim to keep your lower back completely flat to the floor the whole time. And when you're ready to work, let's lift the feet just a little bit, hover them just the tiniest bit off the floor, and keep your thighs together. And just make sure you keep no space under your lower back the whole time and shoulder blades off the ground. Just a little core warm up. Okay, let's come back to hands and knees. And we're going to do some shoulder rolls. So bring your hands farther than your shoulders with your fingers pointing away from each other. And we're going to keep one arm straight and roll that shoulder down to the floor to stretch your chest. And then alternate side to side and twist your body. Okay, and we're going to come back to a second round of plank. So tuck your toes, keep your body in a straight line, and try to keep your hands separate. Let's begin, and don't forget to breathe. Okay, let's come out of that. We'll do a quick wrist warm up. So take your fingers to point back towards your knees and keep your arms nice and straight. Spread your fingers wide, and we're gonna rock back and forth and just feel a gentle stretch through your forearms. Okay, and let's finish off with another round of that half hollow body hold. So if you want to lay down on your back, make sure you're crunching your shoulders so your shoulder blades come off the floor. Your lower back stays flat with no space, and let's lift our feet to work and try and hold. Trying to tilt your pelvis backward so your lower back stays flat. Call this a posterior pelvic tilt. We're going to use this in the first movement coming up called the dead bug. Okay, so take a moment. We're going to be in this position. Got a quick break between circuits. We're going to do what is called a dead bug. So from here, we're going to bring the arms straight over top of your shoulders and bring your legs into tabletop, so a 90-degree position. And then we're going to, again, crunch the chest so your shoulder blades are off the floor and there's no space under your lower back. Then we will lower one leg and the opposite arm as low as you can without letting your lower back leave the floor. Let's begin and alternate sides. Then we go up. Keep your lower back flat. Okay, let's get working on some shoulder mobility. We're gonna do some crab bridges, so have a seat with your fingers facing forward and your hands flat on the floor. Press your shoulders down and away from each other and away from your ears. And from here, we're gonna lift the hips as high as you can. Feel the front of your shoulder stretch. And we're gonna do some reps. Let's get to it. Up, feel your shoulder stretch, and then back down. Lift as high as you can. Let's have a seat. We're gonna do a teaser hold. So sit with your feet flat. We're gonna lean back and round your lower back so that your tailbone is on the floor. And then from here, lift your legs so that your shins are parallel to the floor. And we're gonna hold this position for the 40 seconds. If you're finding this easy, you can make it harder by bringing your arms up. And you can make it harder still by straightening your legs. Excellent. All right. And our final movement of the circuit is a spinal wave. So come to a push-up position. From here, we're gonna lift the bum to the sky and sink your heels to the floor. And then we'll wave through the spine. So try to round your back and come all the way into an upward dog for a back bend. And as you go back up, roll, starting from the head. Bend one vertebra at a time. Back up into that down dog. And let's just go back and forth, trying to wave through your spine. And we're going to move right to the beginning for a second round, starting with dead bugs. So let's bring your lower back flush to the ground so there's no space. Arms are going to be directly up in front of your shoulders. Bring your legs up to tabletop, and we're going to drop one arm and the opposite leg at the same time. Keep your lower back flush to the floor. Here we go. Okay, let's come on up. We're going to move into that crab bridge. So fingers face forward. Have your palms flat on the floor. Press your shoulders down and away from your ears and together to stretch out your chest, and lift your hips as high as you can on each rep. Let's begin. All right, we're gonna set up for that teaser. So sit with your arms out in front, round your back so your tailbone is on the floor. And we're gonna lift your legs so that your shins stay parallel to the floor. Try to hold this to start. If you need to make it harder, you can bring your arms up, and harder still is legs up as well. So let's hold this our level one. If you need to make it harder, bring your arms up, and you can straighten your legs to make it the hardest and hold. All right, let's get into those spinal waves. So we'll come to a push-up position. And then we're trying to segment, so move one part of your spine at a time, starting from your chin tuck. Go up into a downward dog, and then we'll come forward into an upward dog. Try to roll your spine the whole time. Here we go. Okay, we got a quick 30-second transition into our next sequence. We're going to start things with a side plank. So we'll start with the right arm down and have your bottom foot in front. So your right arm's in front, And then from here, we're gonna lift the hips, keep your body in a straight line, and bring your top arm up. Try to make sure that your hips are not rolling. Keep them stacked on top of one another. Let's get ready. Try to keep a lot of height under your armpit so you're nice and tall here. And feel the side of your body work. Okay, let's come to hands and knees. So we're gonna do some thread the needle. So take your right arm up to the sky and twist, and then take that arm under the other arm and stretch the back of your shoulder looking up to the ceiling. And we're just gonna move the right arm. Let's begin. And we're gonna do the other side. So let's get the left arm down. Make sure your bottom foot is in front and your top foot, bring the toes to the heel. You're gonna lift the hips and bring your top arm nice and high. Make sure your hips are not rolled. They should be stacked on top of one another. Let's get ready. Here we go. Stay nice and tight, nice straight line. Make sure your hips are stacked so you're not rolled open. Okay, let's come on back down into thread the needle now on the other side. So take your left arm up to the sky and twist and feel your side body stretch. And then take that arm under the other arm, stretch the back of your shoulder and try to look up toward the ceiling. All on the left side. Let's go ahead. Okay, let's return one last round here. We're gonna return to the side plank on the right side. So bottom foot is in front, bring your top foot toe to the heel. We're gonna lift up nice and high. Try to stay high on this armpit so we're working the muscles in here and then your side body. Let's begin. You might feel this in the side of your low back as well. It's called your QL. Let's hold. All right, so we're gonna do some thoracic spine opening. So come to hands and knees, and you can bring your left elbow onto the floor. bring your right hand so your fingers are just beside your head. And then from here, we're gonna rotate your right elbow up to the sky, twist open the body, and come back down. So right arm is gonna move. Let's begin. If you feel like your hips are twisting, you can turn your feet to point away from each other, and that'll help lock your hips in so you get more twist from your spine. And you can use your bottom arm for leverage to press into the floor and get as much twist as you can. And we'll finish with side plank on the other side, T-spine on the other side. So bottom foot in front, hips stay stacked yet again. Nice and tall in this armpit. Let's get ready to move. Here we go. Almost there. All right, we got that one last T-spine twist, so come back to your knees. We're gonna bring the right elbow to the floor, left hand up by your head. If your hips are twisting, point your toes away from each other. That can help lock your hips in place. We're gonna lift to the sky as high as you can, get as much twist as you can. Let's go. Last exercise, and we're done. And that is everything. Great work today, guys. We'll see you guys in the next one.